job is.
That's the mistake some troop commanders make, Captain. Not being alert to the many different capabilities of the chaplain. I'd like to cite one more case. Witness, Colonel Charles Barth.
You know, I knew a chaplain who not only helped his commander, but altered the whole course of a man's life. At the time, I was chief of orthopedics at a general hospital toward the end of the Korean War. Now, late one afternoon, I was making a check of the ward. Oh, nurse. Any change in that man, Parsons?
No, sir. He just lies there all day staring at the wall. When Captain Slazak was making the rounds this morning, Parsons wouldn't even talk to him.
Well, you never get well with that attitude. Somehow we've got to reach that man, nurse. We've got to make him realize that we're trying to help him.
Chaplain Green was in this afternoon.
Oh, and did Parsons talk to him?
No, sir. Well, the chaplain tried to draw him out, but it wasn't any use. But Chaplain Green said that he wanted to talk to you about the case.
Just how serious is his condition, Colonel?
Well, let me put it this way, Chaplain. Medically, I think we can help him, but that's only half the problem.
I know what you mean. Nurse tells me he won't speak with anyone.
Well, not when he's awake, anyway.
Oh? You mean he talks in his sleep?
Well, one of my wardmen told me that sometimes he seems to be having a nightmare and he mumbles some foreign-sounding word. I don't mind telling you, Chaplain, this one has me stumped.
Was the wardman able to make out that word?
Well, he said it sounded something like shalom. Now, that's Hebrew, isn't it, Chaplain?
Yes. Strange word for the man to use under the circumstances.
Why do you say that?
Well, shalom means peace. And just now, I don't think our patient is very much at peace.
Chaplain Green's curiosity about Parsons was as strong as his compassion. Something about that sullen figure with its face to the wall called out to him, as if the sheer silence of the man was a cry for help. Chaplain Green checked over the soldier's service record, looking for some clue that might point the way to reaching him. He contacted everyone who might know something about Parsons. Gradually, the chaplain pieced together enough information to suggest a plan.
Hello, Walker. How are you feeling today?
Oh, great, Chaplain. Just great. I got another letter from home.
Oh?
Susie says the kids are getting to look more like me every day.
Is that good?
Huh? Hey, Chaplain.
Oh, by the way, Walker, you've done quite a lot of skiing, haven't you?
Oh, I sure have, Chaplain. In fact, I'm a very good skier.
Maybe you can straighten me out on something.
Sure.
Now, some friends and I were discussing the Olympics the other night, and we couldn't remember who took the slalom or downhill cup in the 48 Winter Games in Oslo.
Oslo?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Chaplain. The 48 games were held at San Moritz.
Are you sure of that?
Yes.
Funny. I've sworn the 48 games were held in Oslo.
No, Chaplain.
He's right, Chaplain. The 48 games were at San Moritz.
Thanks, Sergeant. You interested in skiing?
I was.
So with a little help from Corporal Walker and the section on the Olympic Games from the World Almanac, Chaplain Green had opened a door. Now, it took many visits by the chaplain to widen that opening, but gradually he was able to draw Parsons out and get him to a point where he was willing to talk about himself.
Well, what gave you the idea I was interested in skiing?
Apparently, you'd been having nightmares. The wardman was able to make out a word that sounded like shalom. That's Hebrew for peace. It didn't seem to go with the nightmare.
What I probably said was slalom.
That's what I figured, after I did a little investigating.
That bit between you and Walker, that was for my benefit? I used to like to ski, Chaplain. I was good at it. I wanted to try out for the Olympics. Everybody thought I had a pretty good chance. You know, the top of that ski run is like the top of the world. I don't kid myself, Chaplain. I've had it. I'm all through. Skiing, the Army, everything.
Chaplain Green visited Parsons every day. He talked to him. He tried to make him realize that more than anything else in the world, he had to want to help himself. And then later on, he discovered that this man had a facility for languages. So he encouraged him to use this knowledge, to brush up on his languages, so he'd have a special skill which the Army could use. Convalescence was long and slow, but Parsons had the advantage of the best medical care that the Army could offer him. And he had another advantage that went hand in hand with it, the spiritual strength of the chaplain, urging him on, giving him hope, and strengthening his faith. So he wouldn't be able to ski, and perhaps his career as a combat soldier was over. But the chaplain had made him realize that there were other things for him, if he wanted to help himself. Well, eventually, Sergeant Parsons' facility with languages got him into the military intelligence, and there he's made a fine career for himself. The recovery of our #1 problem patient at that hospital was a victory for all of us. But all of us knew that that victory was due to the compassion and ingenuity of William Green, chaplain, U.S. Army.
I'd always thought of the chaplain as someone living and working in a little world all his own, hardly a part of the military picture.
He is a part of the military picture, a vital part. And the wise commander takes advantage of this fact.
You've given me a lot to think about. I just never realized that the chaplain could help in so many ways.
When you come right down to it, Captain, it is through his deep concern for the individual that the chaplain helps you, the troop commander, fulfill your military mission.
I know. And after what I've just been shown, I think I might make a pretty good witness myself.
Well, then, Captain, why not join us?
Yes, sir.
The Big Picture is an official report for the armed forces and the American people. Produced by the Army Pictorial Center. Presented by the Department of the Army in cooperation with this station.